Welcome to the Bitcoin Road Show. I'm not on the road, or maybe I am. Maybe my house is on wheels and it's just skidding around the corner as we speak. No, it's not. So today I want to speak about the funny markets that we have from a conversation I'm just having with a friend who sees what so many of us see. And that is if you look at the reverse, I don't care about this software, but look at this reverse action here. I really like what this guy's written. My friend forwarded me this before. The US M1 money supply has increased 55% since February. 35% of all US dollars in existence have been printed in the last 10 months alone. Really think about that, because it's the global reserve currency, right? Just ponder this, and that's the graph I showed you before. It just looks like a ridiculous hockey stick, right? In the last 10 months, it's insane to think that, right? I guess this is what it takes to orchestrate the biggest wealth transfer in history while pretending to save the economy, rape the entire financial system, and then lie about the effects and the consequences while never getting called to task by anyone except for some cranks on Twitter like me, right? So he's pointing out what many people can see, and that is that this system is printing money out of control. But as I pointed out to my friend before, there's such idiocy in the world that they can print for it as long as people keep on buying the bullshit. When I say buying it, take my idiotic socialist friends that I have in New Zealand and ex-friends who are all happy because the government's shelling out money, and take the my friends in places like Atlanta and Colorado and California who are happy as long as the government keeps on, well, maybe prints another stimulus check of $1,200. Oh wow, it's going to change my life. No, it's not. And meanwhile, they print out trillions of dollars. Nancy Pelosi printing, Nancy Pelosi saying no to stimulus checks, and Donald Trump acting like he's giving some big deal as well. Don't fool yourselves for 1 second. They're both on the same side. But he is an outsider, but he's an outsider of the same shitty system. You're still part of it. They don't care about anyone. They care about themselves. And if you can imagine for a second, when you print a horrendous amount of money and it costs you nothing to print, and what you're doing is giving the people the illusion that you're somehow helping them when you're not. Because those with a little bit of money, which is the middle class, and the working class even to a degree, what you're doing is you're diluting what little savings they might have. For the lower class, you're letting them breathe one more day while still keeping your foot on their neck. And the upper class, well, they're actually getting screwed like the middle class too. It's the extreme upper class who are winning out of all this. And what they're actually doing, and I have actually mentioned this 2 years ago, believe it or not, is that, because I said this was a plan, and the plan is happening now. I didn't know how the plan would get delivered. I'm not some kind of fucking soothsayer. I don't have a crystal ball, never have had, but these things are obvious. Counter to the trolls that I get on this and my other channel sometimes, these things are fucking obvious to anyone with half a brain. And that is, if you print a horrendous amount of money, you can not only use that money to buy real assets, and those real assets will be things like gold and silver while they're still low, but mainly Bitcoin and mainly cryptocurrencies, and even some of those cryptocurrencies that will go nowhere. But for the short term, they're cryptocurrencies that their buying of them will attract real money. That's money that was earned into the economy, into the crypto economy, to buy into pump and dump schemes, and then they exit out early. What it really is, it's an exponential gain of wealth by the multi-billionaire class and the now trillionaire class, right? Now, how that ends is whenever they decide, look, this could go on for 100 more years. People are that stupid. Now, if the average IQ was 110, this would have already folded. The average IQ is around about the 90 something now. I would say it's below 100. And as that count goes down and down and down, so does the amount of time that this charade can go on. But it doesn't matter, because to them, to the creatures that control this world and the financial aspects of this world, whether it takes 20 years or 100 years, it doesn't matter. Because this is a long game for them. This is a long game of owning all the capital in the world. Eventually, with whatever it might be, whether it is through people like me trading against quantum computing backed trading systems, or systems that might even hack my system somehow. Not cryptocurrency, can't be hacked in that way, but let's say they might hack my system, and let's say they might hack 1,000 people at once. Let's say that everyone that has a software wallet with a certain company gets hacked on the same day because that company actually was produced by someone who was a scamming piece of crap who works for them. Doesn't matter how it happens, but overall the money shifts like a tide into the pockets of these pieces of shit. And longer term, well, as I say, it doesn't matter what the term is. Eventually they get what they want, which is everything. They take all the chips off the table and everyone loses. But the other thing that could happen as well is that besides tricking us out of our money, they can just fine us out of it. They can create they can create, let's say, a pandemic where I would walk down the street and everything that I do would be illegal. They can create a situation where my mask doesn't comply to the new X49375 standard, and then that I'm still up for a fine, and then they can take me home, and with a new law that's passed, they can actually take me under some psychotropic drugs to make me tell the truth about where my crypto is stored and how they might get access to it. Unless you can really see the writing on the wall now, it's total domination. I still actually don't fully believe that crypto is the way out. And this is why I keep gold and silver as well, because, well, at the end of the day, even without enough weaponry to protect yourself, and especially with the laws in the world that prevent you from having a defensive mechanism of any kind, we're headed towards total domination. And the problem is we're steered, not really steered, we're steered by the people who are manipulating the world. But that steering is allowed to happen by the sheer level of idiocy that is prevalent in the world today. And we can't fight against it, because as much as we think the people that control this world don't have intelligence, the AI systems they most definitely use do have the intelligence to plan 4 stages ahead and make sure there is absolutely no way out. There's nothing you can do to really protect your finances long term. For those people that think they can have anything under a few $1 million and somehow pass that on to future generations, you're living in a fucking dream world, because that will not be allowed to happen. The only people who are allowed to hold on to anything are people at this stage who have well over $100 million. The rest of us are living on borrowed time, I think. I could be wrong, and I hope I am, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. And from what I can see from this money printing that's going on, I'm not. This was, predicted, prophesized, whatever, a long time ago by many people, parroted, bounced around by people like myself, and it's still continuing to come true month by month. What can you do to change it? Absolutely nothing. When you come up with a plan like buying cryptocurrency, the only thing you're really doing is making a plan to ward off the possibility that it's not as bad as we think. But the reality is, it's most likely a lot worse than what we think. I don't even know where to go on this one, really, except for to say, keep on plodding on ahead. There's a chance that if you can extract what little you can out of the system before the old system collapses, you might be able to somehow squirrel it away to live in some kind of underworld. I'm fucking serious. If off-planet exists, because it probably doesn't, But let's say if off-planet exists and we can get the technology to get off in some kind of, some kind of black market ship off the world that can allow us to get somewhere where the government isn't. The government when I say government, there is a single government that controls the world. This has become more and more obvious as time has gone on, by looking at the fact that they all seem to align with their what their will is. Okay, let's expand on that one. Everything the government has set out to do as far as controlling the money supply, controlling how people think, controlling indoctrination of children, all these things have come to pass. They're all happening, and all of the situations that have particularly happened this year, but also dating back to previous, let's see, false flag events and all sorts of manner of other world events like 9/11. They all seem to just conveniently always benefit the people who always have the control, and have always seem to get more control by the month. That can't be an accident. You can have a few coincidences, but when you start to have coincidence upon coincidence, it's not coincidence. Coincidences are not a case of 1 or 0, 50-50. That's not how coincidences work. Coincidences are, if you imagine you're walking down the street, you want to talk to a girl, you're in high school and you really like this girl, and oh my god, there she is walking past me. What's the chance of that? Is it really a 50-50 chance? No, it's not. It's a much less chance than that. You're driving down the road and you're drunk on alcohol, right? And then you've got 3 lines racked up in your car, right? It'd be really shit if I passed a cop right now. I'm through a country road right now. What's the chance of a cop? Oh my god, it's a cop! Well, fair enough. What's the chance of me getting pulled over? Oh, I get pulled over! Okay, those coincidences are more than 50%. And this is what we're seeing again and again and again and again and again and again. To anyone that believes those coincidences are just normal and that's just, man, you're just a conspiracy theorist. They are an insane person who really believes that you can, it's like, it's like shooting an arrow through the eye of a pea while riding a unicycle with an egg-shaped wheel. And while simultaneously at this very same time winning a lottery draw in 4 different countries, right? When you start to multiply these coincidences, that's how ridiculous it becomes. And here we are now sitting in a state where the money supply has gone horrendously through the roof. We've got countries that haven't bought into the banking system that are collapsing again. And we've got countries that by all laws of economics should have collapsed and are not collapsing yet, but will surely soon. And I really believe the only reason that's not happening right now is because the music's still playing, because the stupid people are still dancing to it. I'm going to leave it there. This is not really about Bitcoin as such. I still think there's a chance that might be no hope even if you buy Bitcoin. I think that it might even just be another vehicle to create horrendous wealth so that they can extract the wealth and put it back into real capital, which is the world, which is you. You're a capital as well. You're the atoms that make up your body. So this is not a downer episode on Bitcoin, by the way. It's just saying have your mind open to what this can be about, what's actually going on right now. Diversify your portfolio with crypto, because right now Bitcoin could tank down, and I still really do think it's going to tank down soon. And I think it's going to go up to horrendous levels next year, on the second half of next year. But don't buy into the whole hype. Don't buy it just because Raoul Paul starts talking about something, even though he's fucking late as hell into it. And even though Grayscale is buying record amounts of Bitcoin, and so is PayPal, they're dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. They're going to buy it whether it's 100 grand or whether it's 10 grand or whether it's 1 grand. They've got a fund that they've decided to manage, and it's a hedge fund again, so they're putting their money in month out. It doesn't matter what it's at, they're buying. Don't be fooled into thinking that's them being bullish on it. They might be bullish long term, but short term they're just going through the normal courses. So I can see a lot of people going to get suckered in by this, and especially the short term thinkers, the ones who always get suckered in. They'll buy in at 20k and then sell out at 10. They'll buy in at 100 and sell out at 50. Don't be those people. When you buy in, hold. wait till it make you some money, sell out some, at some stage try to take out your initial investment so you can't be fucked. And I'm lucky enough that my initial investment was only like $1,500, or originally my first time was something like $100. Might even been $100 the first time I bought it. So I'm lucky enough that I've extracted mine a few times over. And all I can say is that from experience, if you do that, all the Bitcoin, all the crypto I have can be turned into nothing right now. And they haven't really won, because I haven't put more into it than I've taken out. Now, I won't get into other aspects of that. Some might say that I'm jumping on the bandwagon of the elite and making off the little guy. But it's not why I bought Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin to get out of the old system. And I understand that Bitcoin could be manipulated and end up being owned by the banks. But my idea behind that was that if that ever happened, it doesn't matter. Because right now, the central banks can, they own all the money they print. But not all that, they can print all the money they own and that we all own. The difference with Bitcoin is they can't continue to print. Just that one weakness alone stops them doing what they've done for so long now, especially since 1971. So I would say just carry on doing that, carry on diversifying into things, and that includes maybe real estate. But I'd really warn you off investing heavily in something that's in a city, something that's going to cost you a lot of money. Just buy real estate when you find it on the cheap. And as this market is starting to recoil, you'll find that you'll find that some things outside cities, depending what country you're in, you might be able to have a steal because people will get desperate. Yeah, take advantage of those. Have a place that you can call your own, and that you don't owe money to. But other than that, be able to look after yourself by having just a little bit of cryptocurrency, a little bit of money, a little bit of cash on the side, a little bit of silver and gold, just that diversification, as well as a place that you can lay your head down, and that the system cannot say, right, now we've changed all the conditions and now you need to pay horrendous money because they can easily, especially in the side of city, they can easily create situations where a domino effect makes a landlord have to pass on those costs, or even you as an owner having to weigh up the costs of anything from capital gains taxes to rates, right? They can manipulate this as much as they want, and they will. So try diversify with your portfolios of everything that you buy, whether it's metal or real estate, and don't buy in cities. Don't pay too much because prices will crash. I'm going to leave it there. This has been a bit of a rant, but hopefully you got something from it.